Okay. So first of all, we're going to present 2 scientific projects where we are a part of or have been a part of in the past, the FFVT project and the HybOrg project. And then we start the actual speed dating. Of course, these 2 projects are just examples for transfer-orientated research. There are other networks that might be of interest to you if you're engaged in migration in various ways. There's as well the network Refugee Studies, Netzwerk Fluchtforschung in German, which has a working group on transfer and the working group on media. And then there is one network that is focused a bit more on law. That is the network Migration Law. So first I speak now about the HybOrg project. That was a project that did research on local crisis management during the so-called refugee crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. How did we try to interact with people outside academia? We had like 4 venues, I would say. First of all, from the research side, we were interacting with local NGOs all over Germany and local bureaucracies in the data collection process, but as well in the when we designed the project, we got feedback from them. That took, for example, place in events that we organized, where we had speakers from NGOs and public administration. The third thing was that we published not only in academic journals, but we tried to publish in ways that are as well more interesting for people outside academia, like we did videos and wrote policy papers. And we had active partnerships over the course of the project with the German Red Cross and the German County Association. And now I hand over to Merlin.
Yeah, thank you. Also from my side, warm welcome and thank you for joining us. I'm working for the FFVT project, which is called Forced Migration and Refugee Studies, Networking and Knowledge Transfer. This is a research infrastructure project, and it is funded by the Federal Ministry of Education and Research. And it is a joint project of the partner institutions you see on the bottom of the slide. This is the Bonn International Center for Conflict Studies. As the name indicates, they are working on conflict studies mainly as their field of research. Then the Center for Human Rights in Erlangen-Nuremberg. They're working primarily on governance and human rights issues. Then the German Development Institute, where I'm working, where we bring in the field of studies of development studies. And then the Institute for Migration Research and Intercultural Studies in Osnabrück. As the institute's name says, they are working mainly on migration issues. And the objectives of this project of FFVT, as it is supposed to strengthen the infrastructure in forced migration studies, is to initiate collaborative research and establish courses for students within Germany, and then enhance in general the visibility of research that is generated in Germany in an international level. And then also one of the reasons why we are here today is the project, as it carries in its name, the knowledge transfer. The idea is to promote a dialogue between academia, policymakers, practitioners, civil society, and the media. And in general, the overarching goal is to increase the networking among the above-mentioned actors. And then if you come to the approach that FFVT follows, as I said, primarily it's about networking. It's about networking among the different research fields that are out there, among institutions and then among researchers. And that is what we do through mainly academic networking workshops. Then also with regards to networking, we cooperate with other forced migration studies networks, such as the before mentioned German Network for forced migration studies, the Netzwerk Fluchtforschung, and also on a global level with the International Association for the Studies of Forced Migration. And then the second icon here, it stands for Teaching and Promoting Young Scholars. The FFVT project wants to establish joint courses at universities. It organizes a summer school for master's students and PhD students and postdocs. And then the next point, when we talk about internationalization, it's about organizing jointly with the German Network for Forced Migration Studies international conferences, then organizing networking workshops that deal with internationalization issues, that links up with other forced migration studies networks in other countries and also on regional or global levels. Then we have a fellowship program, and also with regards to internationalizations, the before mentioned summer school, and in general, it's also the objective to promote international research cooperation, also among institutions in the global south, in the global north. And then finally, the last point, it's why we're here today, is exchanging knowledge. We want to organize different dialogue formats where we meet up, academics meet up with policymakers, with practitioners, with the civil society and with media, and therefore we have policy dialogues, we have media workshops, and we have public panel discussions. We'll also mention some of the upcoming events thereafter. Now, as a final brief slide, I want to present you with this small map where you can see in the core of FFVT you have the four institutes that are part of the project, and then around it you see all the different research fields, and then how we try to relate to the different parts with internationalization, transfer issues, and teaching. I'll just give you a second to take a look at it, and then I would like to hand over again to Lisa. Thank you.
So, as the first part of this workshop was as well streamed online, we want to invite all those that didn't have the possibility to come to Hamburg to continue or to start the exchange after this event. So you can either contact us via email or participate in one of the upcoming events by the FFVT project. There's the FFVT on Point, Forced Migration in Afghanistan and Afghan refugees in the region. That's an event that is really directed to a broad audience. And then there is 1 month later, the Forced Migration and Dynamics of Political Mobilization, Conceptual Approaches, Comparative and Case Studies event that has more like an expert audience as a target. So now we stop the streaming and start with the actual speed dating. So now you become as well active. So the idea behind the speed dating was actually originating from an observation that during COVID-19, a lot of spontaneous discussions couldn't take place anymore, and you were mainly speaking to the people that you knew already before, and we wanted to create a setting where you actually start interacting with people in a spontaneous way that you probably wouldn't have talked to otherwise.